Mus2. 2 is 2, so Mus2 music. Nice way to write it. And it's when you first open it, let me close it and then reopen it. It works on Windows and Mac. And when you open it, in this case, it comes in Turkish. But it's very easy to switch to English. So now it is in English. But the name is, let's see if I reopen it, will it come in English? Yes, even the sample note switched to English. That's nice. So I will make it a little larger. We can see better and zoom a little so you can see better, I think. Okay. Let me check my. Yeah. Yes, Mus2 is a software for writing, especially for writing Turkish music. I mean, it was written with Turkish music in mind, but it is capable of writing like any microtonal music, as well as, of course, Western classical music and polyphonic music. It is, to me, it was first, I was used to other software like Finale or MuseScore. So in the beginning, it took me a while to understand it, but the more I use it, the more I started to like it. It's really, I enjoy using it. And tonight I want to show you the basics and the things that I find unique to Mus2 and the things I find useful the most. So as Francesca asked, let's start to write a note, and I will show you all the details of the program. The beginning is the title. Here you need to select text and then you can type here. So the main difference maybe between other music software and Mus2 is that the tools work in a special way. It's like you select a tool, this is a text tool, and then you select free text tool or floating text. Then you can act on the document. If you do not select it, let's say something else, these are not editable. I cannot do anything. I need to select, and then I can do it. So my idea is to write a relatively simple piece. I selected Hicaz Ömrüm Bitirmiş. This note I wrote in Finale years ago. Now I will do it on Mus2 and let's see how it goes. So it is Ömrün Bitirmiş and lyricist is and composer we don't know. So what do we do with the composer? Do we delete it? No. Now here we have layout. And in the layout, I can select what to show and what to hide. Title I want to show. Composer I don't want to show, so I turn it off. And I want to show a subtitle because I want to use it to write Hicaz ilahi. Yeah. So this part, I can hide everything, show everything, and I can increase the parts before, I mean, let's exaggerate it. So I can push the notes down. I can pull them back. And there is also more meta information about its author. That would be me. I write Emre Başaran comments. This is, I don't know, very nice. Actually, this we can write something more useful because these are for database operations. You can like search and find easily. So it's nice to put meaningful things here. Emre Başaran is relatively meaningful. You can put keywords like, I don't know, Sema ilahileri or it is in Sofyan. So Sofyan, maybe you want to pull all the Sofyan ilahis together or all the Sofyan pieces. So you can type like Sofyan and maybe Hijaz, although it's in the name, like this. So there is meta information and I want to save it so I don't lose it. Let's not use shortcuts. Usually it is more, it's quicker, but since I have the Zoom, my computer is slow, so it's relatively late. So I save it like on the desktop. I will say Hijaz. Find it easier in the future. So I start writing it. In Mus2, you can write the notes. Before we start, this is in Hijaz. So we need to set the Hijaz signs. So the signs are here. This is a tool named Key and Rhythm. And when I select it, these two options appear. They were not there. I select it and then I can get the tuning and key signature or the rhythm. So I want to change the tuning. Now it's in C major, A minor, but I will want to select Hijaz. So I select Hijaz, it's already here. And hop, there comes the signs. And then when I write it, let's say, zoom a little more. You see it's in Hijaz already. And Mikhail should appreciate this because in Finale you don't get this. So the notes are here. You can write it in two ways. The first one is like typing, like I did. You come here, you select, so it is la, la. Oh, I forgot one thing. I should have, where was it? Auto beam. So, yes. Then I write, but that should be one note. So I tie it using this. Let's play it. So it respects our ties. You could also, but that's later down in the notes. Let's go on with it. The second way to write the notes is keyboard inputs. So for keyboard, I use this cursor tool, and the cursor tool has some very nice possibilities. First, you select where to type on the, you can select anywhere. It's represented by an orange line. And second, you put it where you want the playback to start. So, or I can make it start from here. And another, but we see it later. It has one more use, but we see it later. So I use the keyboards. I come to the place where I will type, and I say, here I select the value, and I say, that's a good example. I typed D for re, and it gave me 1 octave low. So after I type immediately with arrow keys, I can change it. Now it's gone. Oops. Okay. Oops, yes. With the arrow keys, I can put it like this. I put it re, then 16th, re, do, si, hop, re, and then, and I tie them again. Sorry. Hop, and then la. Yes. So I tie it, and now the first part is finished. Let's listen to it. Okay. Now, maybe I would want it to come here, this measure to be here, so it looks better, 4 lines in a line. So I can do it by, from this layout, again, we saw it before. I just make it 90, and that's not enough. I put 80, and it came up. Also, I can put, when I select the measure tool, I can use this line break to break it from wherever I want, like this, or like this. And then maybe I make the layout again like this, so it's big. Or I can put them all back and say it is okay. So this is how I write the notes, and let's one thing. Okay. So I did something just a moment ago. I was writing the notes and they were separate from this auto beam notes. It was off. I turn it off again. I come here. I turn it off. And I write so it doesn't tie them, group them together. This is visual, although this will play the same. Okay, so deleting, if you are in this tool, it's easy. You just hit backspace and they are deleted. Another way to do it, but first I want to show you something else. How do we write? We use this floating text to change these. We can also write like here, new floating text and say araname, for instance. And I can carry it with this tool. And now I will write lyrics, but this would be first, this part is Allahu Allah part. So let me first write the Allahu Allah. And it is, I select this lyrics tool and come here, click under the notes and say Allah. Allah. Allah. Allah. And then up. So the lyrics are in place, but maybe after the tidy. And I want to break it from here, so I use this. Oh. Now, I can use ties. You remember this, when playing back, it respects these ties, but there's another type of tie. This is the tie notes, and this is create slur. La, these are all together. So I use the slur to tie them all together. Allah, Allah, and I can tie these. Sorry. Allah, Allah. Yes, let's play it. Okay. Now, the good thing about Ömrüm Bitirmiş is that this melody repeats over and over. So it will be easy for us to write more. I come to the selection tool, the hand tool, and I select all of these. And I come copy, and you know, I talked about the third use of this cursor tool. It is to point where you want to paste. So I want to I can paste it here, for instance, but I don't want to. I want to paste it here. So I select this, come here, and I can use this, paste, or I can come and here, paste all. And it came with the lyrics all together. I can change it. Of course, to do this, I will come to text and come to lyrics, and I will say I want to delete it first. It will be easier. I don't know which is easier. Let's try this one. In Finale, when you do this, because under every note, it wants to write the lyrics. But some of them don't have lyrics under. So I just space and go to the next one. In Finale, the default behavior of the software was to draw a line under it, under the long, what do you call, the word parts. So in this, you don't have it. Maybe that's what you can miss. But you can do it. Ömrüm bitirmiş. Like something like this, maybe. Virane. And the next one is like this. And enough of the lyrics. So that's how it goes. And I can show you the repeat signs and how to remove them. It's quite easy. And yeah, this is a question which comes, say I want to delete a measure. Actually, it is nice, but let's say I want to delete this. I come to the eraser tool. That's a different approach of Mus2 from other software. I come to the eraser tool. You see, when I click the eraser, some tools come up. I can delete note. I can delete anything, but it is not really anything. When I want to delete measures, I come to the measure tool. I want to delete one measure. Let's say I want to delete this measure. Oh, it's gone. So now I have one measure missing, and I want to insert one measure there. How do I do it? I can come here, I can select measure tool, and I can add. Here comes a measure. And then I can select and copy and paste the missing measure in place. So it is nice again. It is nice. So writing notes is easy, but the playing or the correct playing of the software is it's one of its main advantages, and it's best used by playing together. This I like a lot. So I want to play with it. I wrote it. I want to put this also down so it looks better. Yeah. So I want to play together. And how do I do it? I come, I select, I play it. And I get my Mus2 Ney and play along. What's happening? The tunings don't match. Why? Because Mus2's default key is Mansur. It plays in Mansur. So if I get the Mansur Ney, which is, as you see, larger, and I try it with this, yes. So playing Mansur is nice, but we usually play in Mus2 Ney. What do we do? How do we do it? That's one of the strengths of Mus2. We come to tuning, and here I find Hijaz. Actually, here I find many tunings, including like Hijaz, Humayun, Hüseyni, I don't know, just intonation, maybe for Mikhail, or I was hoping Christoph would be interested in this. So it has many things, and sometimes it's difficult to find. So I know I will use Hijaz and like, so I want to delete the rest. I come here to make things simpler. I remove it and remove. And I remove. Hop. I say, okay, all of them gone. But no worries, because what I do while writing a note is only related to the notes. So if I open a new file, so here I come to tuning and I only have Hijaz. But if I open a new file and go to tuning, I have all of them here. So I can work very fearlessly. So I have only, what was the problem? I was playing Mansur and I wanted Mus2 Ney. I come to tuning, I select Hijaz, and here I can add a tuning. Remove you already saw. I can import, export. Anyway, I will duplicate it and duplicate it in Ahenk. So I can duplicate the setting of the all the signs and stuff with an Ahenk, like Kız nisfesi. By the way, we know it as Mus2 Ney, but this, in fact, is called Kız nisfesi, this ney. Mus2 Ney is a large ney. I copy it with the tuning Kız nisfesi, and it comes with the name Hijaz Kız nisfesi. I don't touch anything else. I say, okay. And I come here, first I selected Hijaz from here, and I select the tuning tool, click here, and I select Hijaz Kız nisfesi. I change it, nothing changes. But I play it. You hear it? So I can play it in Mus2 Ney. And this is so easy, so quick. I can, for instance, we say, let's play it yerinden, and no problem. I come to tuning, I select Hijaz again, and I duplicate it, this time in Ahenk Ney. We use Ahenk Ney. But actually, that's a surprise, because Ahenk is a very low ney. So I want to, it is 1 octave low. I duplicate, let's hear it first. So, sorry. I need to select it, and Ahenk Ney, change. It is very low. So what do I do? I come and duplicate the Ahenk 1 octave higher. This one. I will use this. I come here and say 1 octave higher, change. And let's see. Let me get the Ahenk Ney. Yeah. So we can very quickly play the note in different tones, different tunings, and we can also play it in different instruments. There are some instruments. Let's see them too. I come to Staves, I select this, and we've been playing with piano, but we can select another instrument like, say, kanun. Let's hear it from Ney. They are okay. I mean, Ney, for instance, you get the long sounds better. So if you need something like that, you can go with it. And let's try violin. For again, long sounds. This is, I don't like this very much. So you can switch instruments. And we changed the tuning, but the notes remained. What if we want to play the same note with rebab from yerinden, 4 notes higher? We used to do it in Tumata, like rewrite the notes, transpose the notes, and that was very useful. How do we do it? We need to transpose the notes, and for this, we again select using this selection tool, or we can use edit select all. This maybe if it's a longer note, we can select. Then we come and this edit shift notes. Yes, interesting name. And so I want to go 4 notes higher. I think I will shift like 3 steps. Let's see. La should be re. Yes. And let's listen to it. But let's change the instrument. Let's try oud. It doesn't sound like Hijaz. Why? Because the accidentals are wrong. It remained as the Hijaz accidentals. This brings us to here. I select this one, Ahenk Ney 1 octave higher, because I'm using this one. But I can do it in like, maybe I should select Hijaz and say duplicate as is. Where is it? Duplicate as is. Hijaz copy, and I will write yerinden transpose. So I know. And I come to key signature. You know, I was using this tuning here. I have been using for selecting these or copying and deleting and stuff. And in the same screen, I have other tabs. One of them is info. The first one we have been using. And the third one is key signature. So in this one, I can add and remove accidentals. Like I select eraser and these are gone. For now, we shifted the Hijaz to Neva, from Duga to Neva, from La to Re. So the accidentals, I studied it before, and maybe you will remember, the accidentals are mi bemol and fa diez. Hijaz on Neva. So we need mi bemol, 4 comma mi bemol, and 4 comma fa diez. But we must pay attention because back here, yes, like this. Agreed? Okay. So I have this tuning and I come here and I come here and select this and I select yerinden transpose. I change it. The accidentals come. Let's hear it now. Correct, huh? Now but it's transposed. We did it from Mansur. Maybe we should have done it from Mus2. Anyway, that's how you transpose the notes. You can go, you can just change the playback tuning, or you can just transpose the notes. And one more thing about this. So we have this araname. Sorry, here. It's been wandering around. And let's say I want to put it here, araname, and then I came and add notes. I wanted it on this re, but I come and insert a measure here, and I copy this one, let's say, and paste it here. So araname is in the wrong place. What do we do? When we select the araname, we have this chain here. It's called attach floating text to note. So I come, select this, click on the text, then you see I attach it to here. So when I type notes here, the text goes with the note. So this is nice to know. And by the way, you maybe realize that this is 4/4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But actually I can write any number of notes in one measure and it won't complain. In other programs, you're not allowed to do this. It will limit you and you click, nothing happens. Now that's a choice. That approach prevents you from making miscalculated measures, but there are sometimes some use cases where it's a distraction. You want to just type something and delete the rest, but you can't do it. You need to first delete, put. Anyway, this does not prevent mistakes, but it gives a freedom to work. Like you can write anything, then it's especially useful when you are writing, like, for instance, makam scales. I want to write, say, Hüseyni scale. I come, so I start with a la, and then I say si, do, re. I write a mi, and then fa, sol, la. So I write the Hüseyni scale, but actually it is not Hüseyni. It is now Hijaz, isn't it? So we deleted the Hüseyni. So let's import a Hüseyni from somewhere else. Import from like this one. They will all come. You can import a single tuning. If you save it, let's say Hicaz yerinden transpose, export, and let's say Hicaz yerinden transpose. Yeah. And you can import this single note, single file, this one. Or you can import from a Mus2 file, node file. the advantage of this is that you can like stack your the tunings you work regularly in one file, like Hicaz yerinden Hicaz Bol Ahenk, Hicaz Mansur, something like this, Rust and others. Maybe you make a file for only for Rust, and you can import them. It's easy. So I now wanted to show you this. I come here and I wrote the Hüseyini scale, and I want to switch to Hüseyini here. It's not coming. I said cancel. Tuning. Yeah, I couldn't import it. They all come. I say, okay, come here, click here, up, and I select Hüseyini. Change. And the signs change, obviously. So I can see what's going on. Come here. This is a long note. Yeah. So you see, I wrote a lot of things in this one measure, and I can call it Hüseyini. I can delete all the rest. I can use this. And I need maybe a little better positioning for the notes. And this I can do with this tool. I can drag them around. And one nice thing I realized recently, I can do this. So it moves all of them. It's once you get how it works, it's very nice. Oh, maybe I need more space here. So I will come and I can move it as I like. Yes. So we see now how we can move the notes. Let's see how this goes. When you have space, this is nice. Okay. And of course, if I add notes here, the lyrics will go with it. It's not the difference between lyrics and floating text is obviously this one. So, I took notes to not forget things. And one thing we didn't touch until now, I'm practicing with this one. Okay. So I can come here, there's a metronome sign, and I click here. Oh, I need more space. You remember I had it here. I want to push them down. So I can see now the metronome I put, and I can, like, I want fast. Yes. And we already know that we can play with different instruments. Hop, hop. Evet. Now we'll go to a very nice topic. By the way, you can open several windows at once. So I wrote this note, Allah diyelim daim, because it's quite familiar to us. And so let's come, and it looks like Rust. Let's see. It is Rust, but I want it from Rust yerinden. Rust Kız Ney. And let's clean this up a little from here. Okay, so I duplicate it with Kız Nisfesi and I say, okay, I come here, select Kız Nisfesi and okay, you know it. So we have this, and there's something interesting we can do. We can come to Staves and we can add new stuff. And it looks like this. You are already familiar with this from Western music, but this has a nice use. I mean, a lot of uses. For instance, we can select an instrument, for this new stuff. We can select Ney, for instance, and I can put like long notes to make it sound. Let's see. I come here and so let's try this one. Let's go with re again, but this time like this, and let's try do and do, sorry, but low one. So let's play it. Just a second, what's going on? Didn't we select Ney? Yeah. They are not matching. Why? Because here also we need to select cousin space. Yeah. Okay, so not the best music, but it gives you an idea what can be done. And there is a very interesting use to that, actually. So I come here. This is regular polyphonic music, but I can change the number of staff lines. I have 5 of them, and I go down to 2. And I select the instrument like Bendir. I say, okay. And I even have a sign for this. I can change the key and what is it called? It's called clef. And there is this neutral clef for rhythms. So I come here and I make this, change the clef sign. And I come here. So I write it. I say, this is Sofyan. Let's put a Sofyan here. Sorry. We can push it more if we want to, but that's okay for now. So I will write Sofyan. What is Sofyan? Actually, velveleli Sofyan. Düm, tek, ka, right? So düm, tek, no. Düm, tek, ka, yeah. So I need this doom. Doom. Then I have this one. Doom. Take. Go. Bir, iki. No, it's too much. This should be like this. So let's try this one. Sounds nice. I can do the same to this one. So actually, you see where it's going. I can put here all the things, and when I come here, I can yes, you get the idea. And you can do this, like, for instance, in the sema, we play it different. We play dum, take a, dum, take a, dum, take a faster. And it's not even, I already wrote it down to save some time. So it is like this. Very nice, huh? And you see, there is, now I want to show you something, a few things. Let's don't save it. Maybe we save this, we will need it. There is this Go menu here, and this Go menu goes to several places. And one of them is Simtere Sheet Music Collection. This Simtere TR is like it was a project, and there are 2,000 notes, Turkish music notes written in Mus2, and I downloaded it already because it's like a lot of notes, and here they are. There are a lot of very nice notes here, very good archive. And for instance, I don't know, I've been listening to Neveser Kökteş. And for instance, Segah. Which, let's say, Neveser Segah.
Bir emele vardı orada.
Ha, onu arıyorum da.
İşte
Şu.
orada.
Evet. So some nice people already wrote this down for us. Let's listen to it. Yes, this is nice. It's a nice note, but there is something else. There is this help menu, and there are some sample scores here. And maybe just to change the mood a little, this I like very much. Yes, this one is here, and but I want to show you this one. So in this file, we have all the, not all the, but the simple usuls. And you can use it like any other notes. You can come here, like, I don't know, Türk aksa. And we have Curcunayır. So this is like any other note file. You can come and select this and copy it and get back to Segah şarkı and add a stave to it. And you can like do this and change it to, I don't know, kudüm. Say okay. And then come and paste this. Do you see where it's going? This is, for me, it's this is very nice. And we even have here like devri kebir. It's not the one we use in ayin, but we can write it and keep it in a file and put it anywhere we like. So this I find very useful, and the archive is very useful. One thing that's a common question. For instance, I wrote this, or where is, I close it. I wrote this one, and let's say I just want to hear the bender, the kudum. And actually, this doesn't have a mixer. It would be nice. Maybe it will come, hopefully. It's requested a lot, but there is a way to it. You can come to, not tuning. No, tuning, yes. But you need to change it. This one, first I change it to, because it's in the same tuning, Segah, and I don't want Segah. I want to add a tuning, new tuning, has nothing, and I assign this, just a second, let's, yes, let's make it simple. So basically I want this and this staff to have different tunings, and that's why I come here and I apply this tuning, and it doesn't change anything. But I need it because I will come to the tuning and I will select, for instance, Segah, and I come to pitch. Now this is it's very interesting and a little complicated. Here you can do a lot of things. You can change the frequencies individually of all the notes in the staff. For instance, you can, this is sol and this is C, so you can just make the C a little higher or lower. You can calculate it in cents, like, but it's a little complicated. The best is to calculate it outside and paste the frequency here. It's easier for me. But one easy thing you can do is to transpose all the notes by cents, or yeah, by cents, let's say. And I transpose all of them. So they are now 0 hertz. And I play it. The instrument is gone. I muted it. So I come back and select Segah. I come to pitch and was it 50,000? Yes. It comes back. A mixer would be easier, but that's a nice practical fix, so you know it. And let's go back to one of our notes. For instance, like the Rust, this one. And, sorry. Oh. Okay. You can export this note, of course. You can export it as a sound file and different formats of sound, MIDI file, SIM-TR file. I usually use PDF. Allah diyelim, Naim. Let's save it on desktop. And you have a regular PDF like you should. No surprises. You can also export, export MIDI file, which is a little interesting because I don't know much about MIDI files, but just wanted to show you. So I can open this MIDI file in, for instance, GarageBand on Mac. I don't know what you use on Windows. But here it is, so I can play it. And I can actually edit it. So yes, in case you are into MIDI stuff, this is useful for this. And one thing to say, it's important, it comes to mind immediately. I have, because hundreds of notes written on Finale, you can't import them. You need to rewrite them. You can't import Finale files or Mus2 files or whatever note files you have. You don't import them. You have to rewrite it. Only you can use a MIDI device to play it and capture it. This happens. This works. I didn't try it, but it's possible, they say. Evet. So, one thing I want to show you is I have this, let's say I write a scale again. Let's start from so I come and delete. I need one, maybe. Okay, so I delete this and I turn these off. Maybe just the title. Okay, so I have this. I don't want it to show the 4/4 because it is not. I can do it by selecting this one this time. You didn't touch it, but you can write like, I don't know. you like. How many do we have? Something like this. Oh. But of course, this is not very nice. So we can just no time signature. Now we are more comfortable, and I can just put this down. Yes. So when I play this, I have now, let's make it, this is La minor, huh? I can make it, as I showed you before, I can make it Hüseyni. Now it's Hüseyni dizisi. And this is the Hüseyni C. So I want to save this file as Hüseyni dizisi 1. And I want to also write the title like that. What's going on? Yes, see, dizisi 1. And I save it. And I save it also as, I write here Hüseyni dizisi 2, and I save it as Hüseyni dizisi 2. So I have two files with exactly the same notes, and I open them both. Where are they? Hüseyni dizisi 1, Hüseyni dizisi 2. So I can come and let's say Hüseyni dizisi 1 is the regular Hüseyni, and I'm not very happy with the C, let's say. I have a better idea for C. I come to tuning and select Hüseyni here and come to the pitch where all the magic happens. I click the C. You see there is the sol key, sol clef here. That's how I know which is C. This is C. And let's make it obvious. I make it like this. So let's listen to it. Okay, so I'm just wondering how it's, I don't know if you can see it. I will measure it, the C, the frequency of C. So I come here and this was the original one. And I select this one. It's lower. Not very much, but lower. You can make this. So actually, and you can save this, and then you have the exact C you want. But we know already it is impossible because you need to go up in a different C and come down in a different C. In any case, if you are unhappy with the sound, you can adjust it, fine tune it, very fine. And if that's not enough, you can come and say like, this C bemol is not satisfactory for me. I need a new sign for it, although there are some new signs. Like you have this all the ready-made stuff. You can create new ones. You can import new ones. Let's say I want to add a new one. No, not. I want to, where is it? New accidental. And I want to import one because I made it. Actually, for a new sign, you need an SVG file. It's a graphic file, standard scalable vector graphic, it means. And in normal circumstances, it looks like this. I made this on a graphic software. Bemol is 2.5 comma. It is okay. So I can come and select this one. Sorry. I find it and I acquire from SVG. That's how I do it. And I imported this one. So here it is. And it will be, I need to place it according to La because it is the example. And I want it a little bigger, like this. So it will fit like this. You can even adjust it like, I don't know, 150. Oh, it's gone. 158. I want it exactly. It's here. And I need a value for it. And let's say it would be, if it's 1 comma, it will be like around 23, 24 cents. And let's make it like 60 cents. Minus 60 cents. And I say, okay. So I come to in Husseini 2, but we mixed Husseini 2 with frequencies. I select, what do I do? I want to go back to the old frequencies, so I come here and select Husseini and come here and select this value. Okay, go back to my Husseini and select, I changed it. This is not the original value, so I put the original value here. Say, okay, first, I hear it, no need. And then I come to, in Husseini, I come to key signature. And you see, that's here, my nice symbol. I delete the bemol in C, and I select the new stuff and put it here. So it should be 2.5 comma in Husseini. There it is. So let's hear how it is. A little lower. It would be like this. Much lower, huh? From the previous one. So that's how you add signs to it. I mean, you can change the frequencies, you can add your own signs, and you can save it like symbols and new accidental. You can name it Emre, no need, 2.5 comma bemol. And okay, just in case, and I can export it. So it's here. I exported it. I said, okay, I can come to Husseini 1 then, or any file for that matter, and I can import it. Oh, here it is. And I can then come and select Husseini here and go to key signature. And now it's here. And first delete it and then put it. So the same thing happens. You get the idea. I think yes, I went through all my notes, and I think that's all I want to say about this. And if you are not really tired, very tired, you can, I mean, if you have questions, you can ask questions, or else we can go and sleep as you like.
Thank you, Emre. I like it very much. It looks very interesting. One question was, if you use GarageBand or something, you can use a MIDI controller also for playing notes with keys. Is it possible to import the played notes to music key and let it write the notes down?
It is. I didn't try it, but you have MIDI recording.
Yeah.
So you can connect a MIDI device, play, and it will come in notes.
Yeah.
Yes, I also want to thank you very much. It's very fascinating. I didn't ever expect to see something like this. Some years ago, I had only this program from you, and it was very. I'm using it still. I like it very much, but of course, you have to do a lot of designing work to get to a final. Um, I have one question. Um, you can do a lot of nonsense with the notes here. You can change a lot of things. Is there any key to get back to the standard? Um, for example, if you are using finale, unregarding to what you are doing, in the end, the program forces you to keep some standards. The nodes have the same size. The distance between the nodes is fixed. So, is there any key to, if you are doing a lot of disturbing things, to come back to put it back to the standard?
Yeah. As far as I know, no.
No.
You start with a new file.
Okay.
I mean, but this would be like, so I don't know if you copy it from here. So here, I don't know if it works between two different nodes, but you can come here and yes, it does. And then when you paste it, it pastes it regularly as it's in the default way. I mean, you can just cut and paste it probably. I also searched for a way to normalize back to normal. Even in the tuning, I mean, I was looking for something like reset or revert, but this I couldn't find. I mean, since it's only for one node, it's always easier to open a new node file and then copy the things in this one.
So, for example, if you're writing a book and you have 20 or 30 note examples, notations, they have to look the same way.
Yeah.
So I think you must be careful to change too much, because maybe you have the problem to get the same view in the end. Or
That's kind of you are right. I've been writing makam scales for Fatih, and to get a consistent look, I am trying to develop my ways. I mean, I say every line should be this long, and when I import it, I will apply this scaling because it comes a little big. You need to scale it. So I write one line and then import it like 75%. I remember this. But yes, you are right. If
this is only, I think this is only a small point, because the advantages are so great that this doesn't matter. But I remember I had a lot of work to do to get in the end to get everything in the same way. So I asked for it.
Yes.
On the other hand, it's fantastic to change everything, because you can do a lot of different various things there.
Yes, it is. I mean, Finale is like Microsoft Word of notes. It does everything. So it's a little overwhelming sometimes. Sometimes some things are complicated and some things you cannot do because it's not fine-tuned for this. This Mus2 is simpler in that sense. It has less
Yes, of course.
possibilities, so you can find your way around easier. I mean, you can do very complicated things easily because it's directed towards this. But I would say it could use a little more graphic adjustment abilities. This is also when you come from Finale, where you can adjust everything, you miss that a little.
Yes, but Finale makes you crazy. For example, if you haven't finished say, one part and you go to the next, so it's automatically fills up. This is very very difficult. You always have to to wave it again. It's a lot of work. So you have to work very constantly, very slowly, and very correctly.
Yes, I mean, for a long time I used Finale, and it took me a while to get used to Mus2. But as I said in the beginning, when you get used to it, it's a joy to use it. You can do many things, like even experiments. That's why I wanted you and Christoph to see it, because especially in this part, you can do a lot of things. I mean, just take a look at this in the, where is it? They have, my internet connection is not very nice. No, it was not here. Where was it? Or was it here? Here, yeah. So there is also a Scales archive, and you can access it. This is on the web. This Mus2 makes it easier. Yeah. So you can download it. I don't know how large it is. So here it is. And maybe you remember what these are. For instance, this is, but let's take a look at it from Mus2. So what was this? This one. So you import so here you have this, and you can select this. So this is Aralezgi Uzdilek scale for you. I don't know what it is, but if you can have a look at its frequencies, if you like. So a lot of theory, a lot of things to nerd about.
Yes.
And yes,
Yes.
maybe you will study them and teach us that.
Yes, that's. I think it's interesting to make frequency experiments with it. Also,
Yes.
but at the end, I think we have to work with it. And in half a year, you make this workshop again with some for us with to get more confident to it.
Yes, we can work together. We can make sessions together. And there is a large note archive, which is I am discovering it recently. For instance, you want to practice like where was it? Here. I am into this. So you want to practice this, you can put rhythm, or you can just, if it's too fast for you, you can slow it down, and you will know which the correct pitches are. Many opportunities. You can practice it. For instance, Hande was thinking about putting the rhythm on the ayin notes. You need to first write the ayin. I don't know if there is an ayin here. I don't think so.
Oh, yes.
The rhythm is ayin. Anyway, and if somebody writes the notes, for instance, like Bayati ayin, I mean, I am sure it will need a lot of passes, like 10 times this note is wrong, this note, it happens, I know. But once it's there. Then you can add rhythm to it, you can play with it, you can slow it down, you can make it faster. Many things I mentioned, but I didn't show it to you. On YouTube, there's a channel. Most of them now in Turkish, but we will be working towards English. And there are notes. I mean, there are some stuff. And burada bir ana araç çubuğu var. Buradan see me talking. And also the website now in mostly in Turkish, but there is the English version, and you can then have like detailed documentation, and it's improving yavaş yavaş. But so that's the English version. Yeah, this I forgot to show you. Now you know.